Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Altenew, and I am very excited because this is my first blog post and process video as part of the scrapbook design team. I am so excited, and thank you Altenew for actually inviting me. So today what I want to give you or want to show you is a little bit of me, and I love working with mixed media, a bold title, I love color, I love black and white pictures. There's a lot that I like, and I love Altenew products. So I'm going to use a combination of all of them to create this layout. And I'm gonna actually highlight the Charming Doodles stamp set. I love the set. It's very delicate and it's beautiful detailed images and super easy to work with. So you're gonna see right now, I'm gonna start with a white background and I'm using a thick cardstock for this because I'm gonna add a little bit of mixed media, not something really difficult, something really easy. And I am actually going to create a bold title using the classic alpha dies from Altenew. And this is probably one of my favorite sets. So I have cut the word hello from a dark teal cardstock. I like the color. I think it's going to be a very nice contrast to what I have in mind. And I've cut the letters 3 times. Each letter 3 times. And I'm going to stack them together because I'm going to say my own chipboard. And in this case, I'm just a dimensional die cut. And by that, I'm just going to stick them together, stack them, and that's going to give me the dimension that I'm looking for. Now I'm just kind of forming the idea that I have in my mind on the paper, and I know my title is going to go right in the center and the picture is going to go right underneath it. So now I want to start working on finishing the title. So I'm going to bring the script word 2, and I'm going to cut the word fabulous out of metallic paper, and I found this one that was kind of, I'm going to say between a baby blue and a teal color. And I'm going to cut it again twice. I'm going to stack them together. I'm just going to make it sturdier this way and a little bit, I'm going to say a little bit thicker so that when I add it to the page, it actually has a little bit of dimension, but it's not overly thick. So it's just going to show a little bit of the shadow that I'm looking for. Now that I have that in place, it's time to start working on the mixed media. And it's very simple. Mixed media is actually a card making technique. And all I'm going to do is create a background using a stencil. In this case, this is the watercolor strap stencil. And I'm going to use Sunray ink from Altenew. This is this crisp ink. I actually have the mini cube set. And you're going to see that I'm going to go with an ink blending tool. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to make sure that the lines are it's redundant. But that the lines are going up from top to bottom, so vertically. And I'm just gonna go lightly with the ink. You're gonna see that I pick up the ink. I clean up a little bit of the ink on a piece of paper that I put underneath, and I'm just going kind of on a circular motion through the entire stencil. I started without gluing the stencil down, but realized that it started to move, so I'm gonna add a little bit of washi tape just to hold it in place. And again, I'm gonna just be careful that I don't hit the edges of the stencil. I don't want that inside square that is gonna form. So I just want the lines to be kind of free form. You're gonna see that once I do, I'm gonna say the area that the stencil, that I think is 6 inches, that the stencil is the size of it. I'm gonna actually carefully peel the washi tape and just move it and just continue the impression. I think I use a little bit, I'm gonna say 2 times the impression and just maybe 1 or 2 stripes more. And I continue with the same color. Once I am done with creating the impression, I'm actually gonna dilute a little bit of the ink using, this is one of the Altenew brushes. It's gonna add a little bit of the water to the ink. I'm gonna stamp it on my little mat. And then I'm just going to create a few splatters on the page. You're gonna see that to add those big splatters, all I'm gonna do is dilute the ink and kind of squish the barrel of the water brush, and that's gonna give me that big drop that's gonna create a beautiful splatter. And the way I'm putting the splatters, just I have an idea where everything's gonna go. So you're gonna see kind of a flow on the page, kind of an S shape. And there's gonna be like, obviously a little bit of branches sticking here and there. So I'm kind of creating that. Now while that sets completely, and it's gonna take just a little time just to settle the ink completely, it dries completely, I'm gonna go ahead and start building my embellishments. And for this, I am using the Charming Doodles stamp and die set. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same ink that I use on the background. I'm gonna use actually Sunray and Chamomile to bring some of the yellow tones that I have on the background. And I'm also gonna use Iceberg and I think it's Eastern Sky, and that's the blue set. I just want a combination. I love the combination of blues and yellows and the teal. It's just going to make everything very coordinated, and it's going to look really pleasant to the eye. So you're going to see that I am actually, one of the reasons that I picked this set is because it's a very detail set, but it's very easy to stamp. Sorry, you're gonna have I'm gonna say you're gonna color the color of the shape, sorry, the outline, and then you have the little detailing stamp. So you're gonna see that I'm actually using all the ink just to stamp, I'm gonna say, the inside of the flowers. And like I said, I'm gonna use those 2 color inks for all of this, and I'm gonna kind of focus just on the flowers. I picked the entire bloom. There's a bloom, there's a flower that it looks like it's on the side, and I'm also find these little flowers because I think they're gonna be great to add on my branches. So once I've stamped all of them in the colors that I'm using, the ink, I'm gonna go ahead and use the black obsidian ink, the pigment ink from Altenew, to stamp the outlines, and that's just gonna give me the detail and give the shapes to the flowers. And then I'm gonna take it off camera and just use the dies. I have the coordinating die just to cut them all together. I also stamped a few of the branches because I know those are the ones that are gonna help me with the movement. Now, to make the picture stand out on this layout, I'm actually gonna back it with a few papers from the Verdant Walk 6x6 paper pack. And I want to pick up on the yellow. I want to bring some of the teal that's on the title. And this, actually, this pack has those colors that I'm using. So you're going to see that I'm going to use a little piece of the yellow paper just to back the picture, kind of frame it. And then I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind that. And then I'm going to back it with a piece of that teal paper. Once I have that in place, it's pretty much all about setting everything up and just kind of creating the page. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the picture right, I'm going to say, in the bottom and the half of the page towards the right hand side of the page. So kind of I think of it as a grid. So I'm going to say right at the center of the page towards the right hand side. Once I have that, I'm going to start working on the title, and you're going to see that my idea for the title is going to be quite a bit of movement. When I started with the page, I thought I was going to make it a straight line and kind of, like, move the letters a little bit so that they fit. The letters are quite big, so if you use like a large title, you might have to stack them, which is what I'm gonna do here. You're gonna see that the L are gonna be a little bit high. It's gonna look like the title is moving, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't actually, it's gonna help me with the design at the end. So you're gonna see that once I put my title in place, and I'm just gonna add in some glue behind it. That's the beauty of having stacked the letters together. Sorry, it gives me a little bit of dimension. So once I glued the title onto my page, I'm gonna start I'm gonna start bringing the flowers that I'm gonna use for this layout. And one of the things that, before I do that, is I'm gonna also add the word fabulous. And what I did with that is I added a little piece of foam adhesive behind it, very carefully, very little pieces, just so it stands from the hello, and it kind of sits atop of the picture. Now what I'm gonna do is, it didn't take me a long time, but I did play with some formation. So you're gonna see a little bit. I'm gonna give you most the idea of what I did. I always, when I start working on a cluster, I work with the bigger flowers. I always think, okay, let's create a focal point and then kind of fill or like fluff up the space. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna create a combination of the yellow and the blue blooms and flowers, just because I want to make it like that cluster. That's gonna be the main colors. I want to make sure I always think about 3. So it's gonna be a large element, 2 medium ones, and that's gonna create my little trio, my little triangle, and then I'm gonna start kind of branching off that. And in this case, you're gonna see that I added that big yellow flower in the center. I'm adding those, I'm gonna say it looks like a flower that is on the side, the little the blue ones on the side of the yellow. I'm gonna make sure that they look like they're coming from underneath the edge. And then after that, I'm just adding branches, which is going to help him with the movement. And then I'm just going to fill the spaces with the leaves. The same thing for the picture. I am adding 3 flowers. Again, I'm going with a different combination. Since I added a big flower, the yellow flower at the top, I'm going to make sure that the main focus at the bottom is going to be a blue flower. It's just to combine, but I'm going to say my helpers are going to be yellow flowers. And you're going to see that, like I said, I'm always thinking there's going to be a main image. The biggest one is going to be the focus, and then I'm going to kind of size them out in this case. So they're going to be, in this case, because the letters are all the same size, not the letters, sorry, the flowers are the same size, I'm going to kind of tuck them inside. It's going to make them look smaller, and then I'm just going to spread them out with the smaller flowers, and then just going to fill them in. I'm going to bring in some of the leaves and also some of the branches just to add to the movement, and I'm going to continue working that way. Now when I get to the part of the fabulous again, my idea is I wanted something, like I said, think of movement. If you look at it, it kind of creates an S, but at the same time it creates a triangle. The clusters of the flowers are placed so that your eye goes through the entire page. And but if you look at the flowers, it kind of gives it a little bit of movement too, like I said, like an S shape. It makes your eye go through the entire page. So once again, I'm going to start working on creating the cluster, working with the flowers. I'm going to use a combination of them. I'm going to make sure that one of the flower is like the focus point, and then just kind of build the cluster underneath it. Once I have that in place, I'm pretty much done the layout. I think the only thing that I add after that are a few stickers that I had. They're just clear stickers that have black writing, and I bring one of the butterfly acetate pieces just because it had that yellow and blue tone that I'm looking for, and I wanted to add some movement, something that's going to completely guide your eye through the entire page. And I'm going to add that butterfly right at the top, above the E, on the top of the layout, and that's it. This was super fun to put together. It was very easy. As always, if you have any questions on how this came together, do not hesitate to contact me. I would love to help you, and try it. It's a great idea to bring some mixed media. In this case, it's super simple. It's something we used to do card making, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.